Hey, it's Craig. I just wanted to let you know that you can listen to Canadian History X early and ad-free on Amazon Music, included with Prime. Greetings and welcome to another episode of Canadian History X. Today, on This Week on Small Town Hockey Heroes, we're going to look at Eddie Panagabko, a man who had a brief career in the NHL before venturing on to success elsewhere in the hockey world. Born on May 17, 1934 in Torquay, Saskatchewan, he would eventually make his way to the Humboldt Indians for the 1951-52 season. In 43 games with the team, he earned 50 points, followed by 14 more points in 9 games in the playoffs. Panagabko would spend the next few years with the Indians, hitting an SJHL best in 1952-53 when he had 51 points in only 33 games. This was followed by a very brief stay with the Seattle Bombers, 1 game, and then time with the Melville Millionaires and Grand Rapids Rockets. With the Rockets in 1954-55, he had 60 points in 60 games, enough to earn him a spot with the Boston Bruins the following year. After a brief run through the playoffs with the team, it was time for Panagabko to take his run at the Boston Bruins in NHL hockey. In 28 games with the big club, he had 3 points. He spent part of the year with the Bruins and 41 games with the minor league Hershey Bears, where he had 41 points in 41 games. In 1956-57, he would play 1 game for the Bruins, recording no points, and that would be his last stay in the NHL. For the next 5 years, he would spend time in the AHL with the Hershey Bears and Providence Reds, with his best year coming in 1960-61, when he had 52 points in 68 games. In 1957-58, he would win the Calder Cup with the Hershey Bears. After his time in the minor leagues, he spent the next 6 seasons in the WHL with the LA Blades and the San Francisco Seals, as well as the San Diego Gulls. He found his way to the WHL courtesy of a trade on July 26, 1962, when the Bruins traded him with Orlando Kurtenbach and future considerations, which would be Jerry Ouellette, for Larry McNabb and cash. Kurtenbach, for his part, would go on to have a successful NHL career at the Maple Leafs, Rangers, and Vancouver Canucks. He would serve as the first ever captain of the Canucks. In 1962-63, he had his best season of hockey ever, recording 78 points in 70 games. That season, and the following one, he would captain the Seals to the Western Hockey League Championship, also known as the Lester Patrick Cup, twice. Following one of those cup wins, Panagabko spoke to the crowd, saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of every hockey season, it is always hard for us players to say goodbye, even to one another. We don't want to say goodbye, we just want to say so long." For some reason, probably related to an unhealthy habit, Panagabko had the nickname Eddie Can of Tobacco Panagabko. Panagabko would serve as captain, the second team's history, from 1962 to 65. At the end of the 1967-68 season, he would officially call it a career at the age of 33. Panagabko would pass away at the young age of 44 on January 18, 1979. Over the course of his career, he would have 228 points in 346 games in the AHL, 60 points in 60 games in the IHL, 131 points in 108 games in the SJHL, 297 points in 378 games in the WHL, and 3 points in 29 games in the NHL. Information for this comes from Wikipedia, HockeyDB, Legends of Hockey, the California Golden Seals, and Elite Prospects. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Canadian History X, and if you did, please consider supporting the podcast at patreon.com/Bairdo, Bairdo. You can find me on Twitter at Craig Baird, CraigBaird, and you can email me at crwbaird@gmail.com. And you can find hundreds of articles on Canadian history on my website at CanadaX, that's ehx.blogspot.ca.